What I needed to do was get a longer chassis. This here is a carbon AERO chassis from Power Hobby. Here he comes. That's half throttle. Oh my God, I'm just so happy about this speed right now. And I can't believe we just got this number. That's absolutely insane for the first time out. Whoa. Everyone and even my grandmother has an Arrma Limitless, so we're gonna be running an Arrma Typhon today. Welcome back to Innovation RC, guys. I have an Arrma Typhon that's stretched, and it also has a sweet carbon fiber chassis on it. This is a brand new low voltage build that I wanna break 100 miles an hour, the triple digit barrier on low voltage. I mean, this thing is pretty darn light for what it is, so let's hop into this sweet setup. Now, this here is Project Midnight. If you guys don't recall, this is my blacked out Arrma Typhon. Only difference now is that we have an XLX ESC from Castle and a pretty big TP motor in there. Well, it's not big, it's more so long, but it's super high RPM, which is kind of the point of this whole setup. Now, the significance of this setup in Project Midnight over here is that I want to run not 6S, not 4S, 3S. And I want to try to break the triple digit barrier, which is going to be extremely difficult at that voltage. Luckily, the TP motor over here, it's a super high revving motor in which that can actually help us get a much higher top speed, but it will draw a lot more amps. So you need to be careful with a motor kind of like this one. Now, we are running an Innovation RC Edition 10,000 milliamp 3S LiPo battery from ChinaHobbyLine. If you guys can see, 3 + 1 is ground, makes it 3S. Now, this is also the 8 gauge wire variant, so hopefully this will be enough to push out just enough amperage to make us hopefully break the triple digit barrier. Now, before I run this thing, I want you guys to leave in the comments how fast you think Project Midnight will go on 3S with the big old TP motor and XLX2 ESC. My guess is that we're gonna be between 90 to 95 miles an hour. Now, with having much larger electronics inside this guy, what I needed to do was get a longer chassis. This here is a carbon AERO chassis from Power Hobby. Now, this is basically an Arrma Creighton's 6S chassis that we used to stretch my Arrma Typhon's 6S. Now, what's cool is that you can see all the air channels that directs air from the chassis and disperses it out the back, which is pretty cool. Another thing that I find amazing is that there's actually a motor cold air intake. On the other side of this motor right here, you could see these little air slots, and when air comes, these little channels direct air diagonally in to actually help cool the motor off. Also in that direction, which creates a vacuum, sucking out a lot of the hot air inside of the body. So, I mean, that's just pretty darn cool, and I really, really like this chassis. And if you guys want to get yourselves one of these sweet, badass carbon fiber chassis, I have a link right up there if you want to get your hands on one of them. Now, if you guys haven't done so, make sure you follow Innovation RC on Facebook and Instagram. We have some cool pictures, videos, and other sweet things on there that'll drop on there before YouTube. Make sure you check that out. Now, before we get into this run, make sure you drop a like and subscribe for more. All right, I'm pretty much done talking here. Let's get into running. And yeah, I do actually have the steering turned way up, just so I'm able to actually steer in between over here. Kind of wear the tires in a little bit, which is really what we need to do. What I really want to do is test him out on this very sidewalk. I've never driven him until it actually touched this sidewalk right now, actually. So before you really do any kind of crazy speed stuff, you always want to make sure you get acclimated, you know what the car feels like, this and that, and whatever. The road does have live traffic, but it's also not too heavy with traffic, which, you know, there is a pretty decent delay, as you guys can already see. I don't know, I mean, I wouldn't mind doing a speed run on this little sidewalk over here, but it's not long, it's not wide enough. I don't know, here he comes. That's half throttle. I set my remote to 50% endpoint. Now let's see what that was. And the brakes definitely work, so I'm pretty happy about that. And the endpoint is actually set to about 50% on the throttle. Oh my God, that was 77 already. That was 77 on a damn sidewalk. I'm not even gonna use any more battery in this. Let's hit the main road and see what we can do. All right, so we are all zeroed out with Midnight over here. You can see how well he can do, and we're always gonna go right to left. Trying to do it without any traffic coming by. All right, Midnight's all clear. To the left, gonna see what you can do. Here he comes. I just put her in the grass. I'm pretty sure I could drive him out, but I also didn't want to drive it back with another car like that coming. Yeah, I just don't even want to take a chance with having to drive it back on the road and then extra cars and whatnot. And my seatbelt's not on, but that's okay. And there he is. He's off-roading, yeah, so we can still confirm this. I just don't really want to play in traffic, in my honest opinion. And there we go. 101 miles an hour. 101. Well, let's see if we can see that better. 101. That is a great shakedown pass and a great baseline also, because this is where we're just starting on 3S. Actually, hang on. I turned everything off because I want to get the temperature, see what we're looking at here. Here's my trusty little thermometer gun over here, and we're gonna see how hot everything is. Let's feel the motor. 96, yeah, so that's not too hot at all. We could still push the motor a lot more. 99 is probably 105. 108 on the heat sinks of the XLX2. 99. 108 because it's touching the inside of the board. So I'm gonna say it's at least 110. And I gotta tell you, I didn't even warm this battery up beforehand. I just charged it and I said, screw it, let's go. There we are. Keep in mind, this is just a baseline, and I'm actually happy to say the baseline is exactly 101. So what I'm gonna do when I get home is check the data logs, see how much the voltage is sagging, see how much more we can gear up. 101 miles an hour in the first pass with Project Midnight on 3S, so I'm pretty darn happy. That's gonna be pretty much the principle that I'm gonna be working off of, and we're gonna see how much faster Project Midnight can go in the future videos. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you drop a like and subscribe for more. I appreciate every single one of you who do so. Alrighty guys, so as always, make sure you stay safe and have a good one.